but I don't think anyone actually navigates to my homepage. Like they're on Google and they type in that long search, and then they navigate to that page, and they never probably ever go to the homepage, let alone read all the stuff I wrote about Orange County. Like, I don't think it happens.
Hello and welcome to /Real Estate. I'm Chris Whitling, the VP of Marketing at Real Geeks, and I am excited about today's episode. I always say that, but we're talking about one of my favorite topics. We're talking about SEO and generating traffic, with an OG here. So our guest today is Eric Engelbert. And Eric, if you want to just give us a little introduction on who you are and what you've been doing.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm a regular dude. I didn't go to college for tech or computers. I'm learning on the fly. I've had my websites for almost 9 years, website, ocrealestateinc.com, for almost 9 years. And I started just pecking away at the computer, learning as I go, using as much resources as I could. Jesse Bodwine from callaction.co is a big resource. A lot of people in the industry know him, and he's a personal friend of mine. So I did use him quite a bit. And then like 3 months into it, 4 months into it, I realized like I did everything incorrectly. I had to go back through and redo everything. Like, I'm literally learning on the fly.
Yeah.
And one thing, like, probably not going to drop any major like bombs on you guys of like, oh, this is going to help me so much. Like, I can be great tomorrow. Like, the one thing that's helped me get to where I am, and we'll see how well I'm doing and how my site is doing, is just continually working on my site, updating pages, adding pages, building all that content. That
I think right there, that's an awesome tip. We're 30 seconds in. And I mean, it's always about that continuous improvement.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret sauce. I mean, I'm a golfer. People are like, "Oh, give me a tip." I'm like, "Okay, here's the tip. Work hard at it for 20 years."
I love it.
Yeah. And this is the same thing. There's no secret sauce. You just have to work hard at it, and know what you're doing too. That helps, but
Well, let's get into some of the SEO stuff. So you said you built, when did you start building your website? 9 years ago?
yeah, 9 years ago, 2017, or like the first of, yeah,
Was
2017.
that a Real Geek site?
Yeah, Real Geeks. I just started with Real Geeks and stayed with Real Geeks. Luckily, there's lots of bells and whistles and new shiny stuff, and I like considered changing a whole bunch of times. Not a whole bunch, but a few times. And I'm so glad I never changed. I'm just so happy I never changed, because all these other sites that are so much more expensive. I mean, I'm just glad I never changed. I think that helped my domain authority. It helped my site.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, having a domain name that's been registered for a really long time, like a lot of the SEOs now will say something like, you can register a domain name and it'll be a little bit before Google even wants to acknowledge that you exist. And there's some ways around it, but like just that long-term domain authority is great. But like, if you don't mind, you want to give people an indication of like how much traffic or how much lead volume you're getting off like your different traffic
Well, let
channels.
me share a screen. Can I do that?
Oh,
Okay, this is actually just one page of my many pages, but this is the most like high performing page that I have. It's Orange
yeah.
County Housing Report.
Yep.
Can't really see it there, but Orange County Housing Report. Um, you can see like people type in Orange County housing market. These are the impressions and the clicks I get. Orange
Okay,
County
so
real
if
estate.
anyone's listening to this, what we're looking at is we're looking at Google Search Console, and we're seeing the specific queries that you're ranking for, which are Orange County housing market, Orange County housing inventory. Like, this is awesome. That's not even long tail. I would say that's like prime.
Yeah, I'll just like buzz through a couple others because there's some big like housing market. I mean, I'm ranking like, I mean, just getting these impressions, even housing market in Orange County housing market forecast 2025. These are good impressions. Orange County real estate, like Zillow spends probably 20 grand a month to rank for this. I'm
Yeah.
not spending anything. And if you type in right now, like on Google, if you type in Orange County Housing Report, which is the actual page, I'm typically number one. Sometimes I go back and forth with Redfin, but now with Redfin being bought out by Rocket, Redfin actually dropped down to like the fifth or sixth spot. but it's me. Then it's like the Orange County like realtors. They're not selling houses. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm like one of the only, then Zillow's up there. These other billion-dollar companies are up there, but I'm up there, and that's where I get most of my traffic, from that site. I mean, that one page.
That's awesome. Well, and the interesting thing here is, I was looking at like your click-through rate, it's like 0.7%. That's considering the competitiveness of these keywords, like that's solid. So yeah, average. So it was some of the other things that we're looking at here on the screen, are total impression count, number of clicks over the last 3 months, so 208,000 impressions over the last 3 months, like awesome, absolutely awesome. And then average position of 16.6. Now that's, that's across all of the terms in this report. So your average position, like even for things that you don't rank well on, still puts you like just below page one. So yeah, again, like solid numbers.
Okay, so this is probably the most important thing here. I don't even really know how any of this ranks. I'll tell you one thing. I wish that blue line was 3 times higher, but like
Yeah,
I can't,
absolutely.
yeah, I can't really explain what all this means exactly. But what I can tell you is that this page, which I could share that screen too, actually, just real quick. I mean, I might as well share everything here.
People love it when when you share.
So anyways, I write this housing report every week, and it's been like I've been doing it for years, like maybe 5 years or so, and it started out really terrible, and like I wanted to make it look super nice on there, and then I found out like, oh, it looks great, but Google can't crawl that. So then I mean, it's really like improved over time. And there was a time where I was doing videos about the housing market because everybody's like, oh, video, 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 video. And then, of course, I wanted that to look a certain way. So I spent a whole day doing a video, it was just too much. You can, like, if you're watching, you could go to OC Real Estate. Well, let's see if I can share this thing. Share this tab. Oh, here we go. That's easy. Goodness. Okay. So this is it. You can see oh, you can't actually see it up there. It's Orange County Housing Report.
We'll have links in the bio. So anyone that's like trying to follow along, like if you're on Apple Podcasts, it'll be in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, then in the description there'll be links. But if you're on YouTube, then you're seeing this right now.
Anyways, it's certainly evolved. So, I mean, but this is the one from last Monday. I have to write my one today too. So it comes out every Monday, and I just write one market trends section about what's happening in Orange County, and then I try and write something, compared to what's happening in the entire country too. I talk about different areas, and I think personally that that's good because there's so much like bad information out there, and people are talking about the real estate market and they're looking at a national view, but where I live in Orange County, like things are very different here than what's happening nationally. Like, for example, not that you guys care about this, but like, for example, nationally, like the average days on market on a nationally level is 107 days, but
Right.
the average days on market in Orange County, let's just go look last week. Wait, days on market, 60. So I mean, that's very different too. So basically, I made these kind of tables, which weren't as pretty as the other ones that I had, but Google can really read this data, and they love seeing fresh, new, updated data every week. Like if someone types in, I think that was one of the queries, what was one of the queries there? But specifically a data point from this, like days on market in Orange County or something.
Oh, Google loves the structured data, and so like this is great for like those little answer boxes and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I'll write a little paragraph about each section. And now, by the way, that I've been doing this for so long, it's evolved into this. I can do this in about 2 hours. So I spend about 2 hours a day writing the report. The other thing I've done is I just keep adding them on here. So this was the week before. So now I have historical reports on here.
So is it 2 hours a day or 2 hours a week? How often do you do this?
It's 2 hours. It takes me 2 hours to write the report. I do it one time a week.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's just one time a week, 2 hours every Monday. And, So it got like, here's some of my other grids like that. Google didn't like that for some reason. There was another one that I made that I thought was nice that Google
So
didn't like.
how are you determining whether or not Google liked, one grid over the other grid? What's your what's your decision criteria in there? What data are you looking at?
Well, first of all, I had an image of a grid because I thought it looked nicer. And so
Absolutely.
then I was like, wait, then I found out from somebody online or in some like, Facebook group or whatever that Google like obviously can't read the image.
Yep.
So then I was like, okay, now I need to make a grid. So then I just kept trying to build. I think I had a conversation with ChatGPT about building a table that was most like readable for these search engines that could crawl it easier. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
so ChatGPT helped me build it. And there was a point like I had to add this link for like more reports. So like this is 2024 because my Real Geek site couldn't handle me uploading new reports. So I had to separate it. So now this one goes, and I deleted a whole bunch of videos out of here. So here's where my image is. Like this was an image. I thought it looked cool
Yep.
or whatever, but it's terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, something to try might be do the housing report and then like you change the title so it's like housing reports for 2025 or housing reports for August 2025, so like the title has some recency in it, and then maybe move the older reports to a different page. I'm just kind of brainstorming here to keep going on like the good vibes that you've already got going on.
Yeah, so another thing I met this guy who works at Google just online. I didn't meet him in person, but he does work for Google, and he said that this page is like it's like a super blog or something. I don't remember the exact word that he said, but he was like, it's like a super blog. So having all this data on one page is like this giant blog about Orange County real estate,
Yeah.
and it's like great because I was trying to do, I was trying to build my blog up too. So
Mhm.
I was putting like some of this, sometimes I would post this on a blog, I try and post it on Facebook, a link to it, and all this stuff. He's like, those are going to compete with each other. So let's just keep it on this super blog here that you're done. And
Okay, so I guess maybe rewinding a little bit. So you've got the market report that has been just crushing it from an SEO, but I guess was that an idea that you had 9 years ago and you've just been continuously executing on that? Or is that a newer idea that you've been iterating on for X amount of time?
yeah, it's a newer idea. I probably started it, I think 5 years ago or so. And then I wanted to start with the video stuff too, but again, the video just was not like it didn't work for me. It just didn't work for me time wise and all that other stuff. And so yeah, when I started, the company is called Orange County Real Estate. So I was trying to like encompass all of Orange County. So I started building out city pages, and I started where I lived, and I built out city pages and then neighborhood pages. Like this is part of the kind of the long tail keyword stuff too, but I one of the resources I used in the beginning was Answer the Public, and it was free back then too. You could type in like Orange County real estate, and then it would add like what people were typing in from Google, or like a house for sale in Costa Mesa. Like I live in Costa Mesa, so I started in Costa Mesa. I hammered like a whole bunch of neighborhoods. So, and again, I had to redo a lot of that stuff and just learning on the fly and building and building. But now like I'll have a long tail keyword page for like Costa Mesa, College Park, single level home, 3 bed, 2 bath. Like that's literally a page.
That's awesome. And you built all that out manually. You didn't use anything like SEO Fast Track or tools like that.
So I used Mert, like I don't know how to pronounce his last
Yeah.
name, but he's pretty well known in the Real Geeks sphere. And he hammered out a whole bunch of pages for me. Um, but I didn't really love how they were built. And so I've been trying to like rebuild them as I go, which I try and do like maybe 10 a week where I update. And I just, it seemed like he had somebody overseas, build out all those pages in a fast time. I mean, that is what happened. And they all
Yep.
kind of look the same. And Google doesn't like that. They need like some individual content for those pages.
Which is, I think you're absolutely right. The way that you're building them out is the gold standard. I think a lot of people get it's the age old dilemma of, speed versus quality. And so, whether it's MERT or SEO Fast Track or any of those, like, yeah, you can generate a lot really fast. But I guess the thing that I'm impressed with is how long you've stuck with it, because I've talked to a few other people that have employed similar strategies, and it's the same kind of like, multi-year dedication to building out content that gets them to this point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been it's been a grind for sure. And I wanted to quit or didn't want to do it, and I'd maybe go a couple months and not even touch it. That happens too. But now that I have this report, and now that I'm like learning about Search Console more, and I can see like, you get a every month I get an email about what pages are ranking, what new queries are coming in, and so I'll go and focus on those pages and make sure I'm like updating those pages that are already ranking, that I'm getting clicks from, and then they rank even more and I get more clicks. On my Real Geeks, CRM side, I mean, I think I've had 130 leads in the last 30 days. Those are all organic. I have no paid traffic at the moment.
That is amazing volume. Do you think about uh like targeting what consumers want, or do you think about like trying to play to Google when you're building out long tail keywords?
Balancing building for Google versus building for the consumer, you have to put the consumer first because they're typing the stuff in.
Let me ask a different question, which is, when people get started in SEO, there's a lot of like, you'll Google how to do SEO, or you're talking to Gemini or whatever, and you're going to get a lot of like SEO 101, and one of those things is, doing a bunch of keyword research and, trying to figure out what keywords are competitive, what keywords are long tail. Like, did you do any of that, or were you using a different method to try and figure out what to target?
I did do some of that stuff. I think, with Answer the Public, you can
Yeah.
learn about those long tail keywords. So I definitely did that stuff. But in the beginning, like some of my main city pages are just like ocrealestating.com Newport hyphen beach. Like, that's not great. Or just Irvine. I mean, I think I've
Yeah.
updated some of those to make them like Irvine real estate for sale, but some of them are still just like Santa Ana with the hyphen in between Santa and Ana. But you know, under that, I now have like 100 different pages, like Spanish style homes in Santa Ana, homes for sale and single level homes for sale in Santa Ana, priced between 800,000 and 900,000, 3 bedroom, 2 bath homes for sale in Santa Ana. Like,
How did you this is the part that I'm fascinated with, where it's like, okay, you start to get a little bit of data, but then you're springboarding. And so where's the insight coming from? Is it coming from analytics, Google Search Console, a keyword tool, or is it like your experience as a real estate agent, knowing that this is what these people in these areas are searching for?
in the beginning, I mean, blind leading the blind, but I did have some help. And the one thing is, like, I did do PPC ads. And when I started doing PPC ads, which I think helped rank my site too, because SEO and PPC, in my opinion, work hand in hand. That's important. But when I did PPC ads, you could realize like how much these other companies are spending for things like buy a home in Costa Mesa. Like, I
Yeah.
can't rank for that. Like, I can't afford to pay for those ads to rank, on that stuff. So that's when I realized, like, man, I need to really get the long tail keywords because they're not doing that. Oh,
Right.
there was another site. Actually, there was another site in Orange County that was every time I typed something in to just test, like they were on the first page. And so I kind of started copying some of the stuff he was doing too, and like seeing all the long tail URLs that he had. And that was another kind of that all kind of came together over like a year period of learning all these different things and what was important and how I could rank and beat out Zillow. Like I know Zillow dominates. I'm not gonna beat them. They spend millions probably a month to rank. So how can I get more granular, right? That was the word. That's keep getting those long tail keywords of like Santa Ana, single level. I have a page that's like ocean view homes under $1 million. Like that gets a lot of hits.
What advice would you give for someone that is starting down this path? So they're like, I want to employ an SEO strategy. I'm willing to grind it out over years and years. I've got my geography figured out, and I've been in the real estate game for a little bit. What but maybe the question is just like, I don't know what content to build. How would you advise them?
Start with your neighborhood. Start with your neighborhood. You're a real estate agent. You have to know your neighborhood first and foremost. So let's say you live in Raleigh, North Carolina, in big block square, neighborhood. Like build a page specifically for that. Like Raleigh, North Carolina real estate hyphen my neighborhood, homes for sale in that neighborhood. Now you can just start like then on Real Geeks, you can create a polygon search that's just that neighborhood. If it's not already in based on your MLS, like sometimes your MLS doesn't allow like smaller searches like that, you can do a polygon search for specifically that neighborhood. And then you can post all the sold homes and the ones under contract on your page. So now you have 100 properties there. The other thing that's great with Real Geeks too is like Google searches all those homes every day too. Like they're crawling and seeing, and like when you put 100 homes on that page, like Google is searching that and seeing that that's new content and like actual like stats. That's good stuff. So I would start there and just work your way out. Just work your way out, but be like really focused on your specific area and build like a great page for that area and base your blog on that area and, write blog content too. I mean, I wrote a blog. I mean, I've been writing blogs for probably 2 years only. And now like I wrote this one about a golf course that's closing in Irvine, and it just like I get so much views off of that one weird blog. It's not even real estate based, but it's in the community and it's something I know about.
So it's sort of like a land and expand strategy. It's like you pick the smallest little area that makes sense near you. You start there, and then you basically just start building out. And so it seems reasonable that it's just like wherever you do the most business would be that spot that you would start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it takes time. That's the other thing I said in the beginning. Like, there's no secret sauce. It takes time. You just have to keep pecking away at it and dedicate. I mean, if you're starting from scratch, like, just go ahead and dedicate a couple hours a day for, the next 5 years. It could be overwhelming, and you're gonna learn as you go. You're just gonna learn as you go. But just build a couple pages, and then the other thing is, if the page sucks, you can go back and rebuild it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, talk to me about that, right? Because I feel like a lot of people get hung up in the, like perfect is the enemy of done, type situation. And so what's your feeling on, especially since you're like creating a lot of content, that Google is going to hopefully rank and put out there. Like, what's your feelings on like quality level?
I mean, when I started, I didn't think my quality was good at all compared to what I know now. And I might have thought it was good, but what I know now, like, I don't necessarily think it was good. And that's because, one thing about writing this housing report, like I've learned, like I probably know about the housing market in Orange County. Like, I mean, I'm in the top 1% of all realtors just for knowledge based on the housing market. Like, I don't think anyone knows even what the average days on market was last week, and then the median days, or what's the difference between average. So, like, just building all these pages and doing all this stuff, it just it's going to help your business. If you're building a page about your neighborhood, like, you're going to learn, oh, this house sold, a year ago for that. And I mean, you just learn so much. So, perfect is not, your question was about being perfect. I mean, I personally want stuff to look great and be perfect, but it just changes. Like my site, like my housing report page, it's evolved into something really nice. Is it still perfect? No, but it's evolving all the time and getting better. And don't forget about the pages you build today. The pages you build today, like you're gonna redo those maybe tomorrow, maybe next year. You're gonna keep adding onto them. You'll add content onto them. Like I live in Costa Mesa. I live in a specific neighborhood in Costa Mesa. My neighborhood page is kind of ridiculous. Like I have to cut stuff out of there. But another little thing Mert talked about, maybe 6 months ago to a year ago, is like putting all the properties on your page on the top and all your little content on the bottom, and so I wrote all this content about every city and all these neighborhoods, and I'm like, consumers don't care about my opinion about this neighborhood in Huntington Beach. Like they don't probably really care about my opinion about it. They just want to see the houses. So put the houses on the top. That's an option when you're building out a page in Real Geeks. Put the houses on the top, put your little opinion about all that stuff down there, which Google will crawl that. And if someone types in anything in your little content, maybe your page will come up and then they get to see the houses first. Maybe they'll stay on your site a little bit longer.
That's a good conversion rate test, or not test, but tip. Because I was going to ask about that actually, kind of similar to the quality thing. I think sometimes conversion rate optimization can be antithetical to, like making a beautiful site. It's like you can make something that looks really good, but doesn't convert at all. And so I guess Real Geeks takes care of a lot of that for you. But, I think this tip right here of like, just put the housing there first. It's kind of like understanding what the consumer is ultimately doing. Like they want to look at houses in that area. And so you want to deliver the goods.
If you're making a long tail keyword search, like for, 3-bedroom, 2-bath in such and such a neighborhood, priced under $1 million, like you better show that first thing first. That's what should pop up on the screen. They don't want to hear about like, oh, I really like these 3-bedroom homes in this neighborhood because of this, and there's beautiful trees on the street and this. They don't want that. And of course, I spent hours and hours and hours building out all that, writing all that stuff, before there was AI even, and like was really proud of it. So now I had to move that to the bottom. It was like a little punch to my soul there, but no, what was I going to say about, oh, you mentioned about these other websites that look beautiful, like the one thing is I don't necessarily love my homepage on Real Geeks, and I work on it and change it and try and tweak it because I want it to look perfect. But I don't think anyone actually navigates to my homepage. Like they're on Google and they type in that long search, and then they navigate to that page, and they never probably ever go to the homepage, let alone read all the stuff I wrote about Orange County. Like I don't think it happens. I know Google reads it, but consumers aren't doing that. And so then like these other really like nice websites that are $1,000 a month or $1,200 a month, like they look beautiful. They look like you're a $1 billion company, but they don't convert. Because then I made specific pages for selling your house in Costa Mesa, selling your house in Anaheim. So I made like a selling page for Orange County, which does okay. And then I made a selling page for every city. Then I made a selling your page fast. Then I made getting a cash offer page. Like these are the roads I go down like in my head.